Welcome back to Indie Housing Market. I'm Kyle.morris with Morris Property Group and FC Tucker.
And I'm Shelly Walters with the Shelly Walters Realty Group and FC Tucker.
We took a couple weeks off because my lady got married. So it feels weird getting back into it. Like we were talking, I was like, I don't know if I remember how to do this to a certain extent.
But getting back into it, being gone, I've been back for a week. Wow, what a couple of weeks makes. I don't know what in the world happened, but it happened.
It did. Weather's been a little bit nice. I mean, It was cold a week and a half ago, but it has been really, really interesting. I'm seeing a lot of things, and we'll get into that with all the stats, I guess. But anecdotally, everything that was kind of stagnant is kind of weeding its way out, right? I had one that had been sitting for a while, and it is under contract and all that stuff. And I see a lot of it. Yeah.
I had one that had been on the market for 3 months, but they were high. Went, with their numbers because that's what they really wanted to do. And man, just last week that went. I had lots that were on the market for a couple of months. Those went, and then buyers, like 3 buyers just came out of nowhere. All of them in multiple offers. My listing went up yesterday. We had like 15 showings the first 6 hours, and we already had multiple offers and way above list. I was just like, whoa, we jumped right back in.
We did that. We've had a couple of houses here, one this weekend. It's sold in hours. The response time is a little bit later, so it'll reflect later, but it was a longer timeline that it'll look like a day and a half basically, but it was going to be hard to beat that offer. And then the day after Valentine's Day, we had one that was sold over list as well, and in a day type stuff. And it's always weird. I've noticed the longer I'm in the business, the spring market has kind of inched forward a week over the past, I want to say 4 years, I guess is kind of when I first started noticing it. And that may have been because
I always thought the end of March would be really kind of the timeline where we'd start to see it.
But then it started being second week of March. And then people just kept trying to get ahead of the curve on it, and so I've seen it trickle into February. I've never seen it come into February this much. I also don't know if this is the beginning. It doesn't really matter, right? But I don't know if this is early start to a spring market or a letting loose of a pent-up winter market that finally saw some decent inventory, and the weather was beneficial and people just came out. Because I've also seen it layered with buyers as well. I think buyers over the fourth quarter were in a very interesting position with so much leverage because houses were sitting and they were kind of waiting to, there was just a lot, to call it for what it was, from what I saw a lot of stuff in the market this winter that
a lot of days on market.
A lot of days on market because presentation wasn't good, because they were using comps from the summer, but then the house that we would be talking about was significantly dated, and so they were pricing based as if it wasn't, and then it would just get hit, or it wouldn't show well because it needed updates, and so it would sit, and then it just would compound upon itself. And then, as we know, buyers, no matter how much I educate people, they'll be like, why has it been sitting on the market? What's wrong with it? Nothing.
What's wrong with it? That's what sellers need to be afraid of, is when they start saying what's wrong with it. Because once they say what's wrong with it because of your days on market, you're losing a lot of money.
You know how many houses I bought that are perfectly fine that have just been sitting because they mispriced at the beginning or presentation or whatever it may be?
Well, what I was thinking too in this past week, where I've just been amazed at the change, was we constantly have said when was the best time to buy was yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had been saying November, December, and January, get out there, buyers, before it changes and you're competing. And now everything I'm dealing with is going. Even the builders, a couple of builders, they weren't negotiating. And yeah, we told everybody, get on it fast as possible because you're going to start competing soon, and it's starting.
Because inventory's starting to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 listings right now that I'm trying to get on the market. We just put one on the market yesterday. I put one on the market 2 weeks ago. I did another one last week. Like I was telling you with the, January was pretty slow, right, for us. But what I have pending right now, 22, those are May numbers, August numbers to have current, and you're the same way. Like that is a lot for
And
right
that's your
now.
team, just in
That's
case
my team. That's
anybody's
my
asking,
team. That's
yeah.
my total team. But that's a lot of transactions currently pending between listings and purchases, and that's in the second month of
Well,
the
like
year.
we were talking earlier, is it kind of makes me at this point go, is this what we're in for till October?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to just ride this and it's not going to change, or is it going to even get more and more hectic with everything? It's hard to look forward to that being like this till October.
Yeah, it's a long
But remember
year.
last year how we dealt with the spring? It went,
And then
it went.
Like third week
Completely
of April, it just
died.
fell off out
Yeah.
of nowhere. And so I don't know if that's what it ends up doing again this year. I really don't. A lot of that is like there's some economy stuff in there that we don't know how will play out. You know, I'm not here to predict any of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think too what happened with the buyers, and people are asking me like, why are the buyers already out or coming out now? Is we were talking about, well, they're going to change the interest rates. Everybody was saying wait till the election and then after the first of the year. And rates are not doing what everybody was predicting might happen. They're still in the high sixes.
They came down a little bit this week. I did see some 6.65, 6.75s in there.
Yeah, but that's just been where
But that's
it's
back to
been.
where it was, actually.
Right, it's just been where it's been. And
Yeah.
so the buyers are just, like you said, pent up demand. They're not like waiting anymore. Well, that didn't happen, so we better start looking. And the houses are coming on the market. But what's interesting, again, I keep saying there's two markets. One, the great houses that hit the market, they go right back off. And then the extended time of people that have been on the market for a while are going to start getting eaten up because the amount of buyers out there have to buy something if they're ready to go. And it's either the new ones or the old ones. And so like I'm seeing on Carmel, just we talk about in the actives in Carmel, the average days on market right now is 96, but in the past 7 days it was 36. And the sales was 26 days on market for, I'm sorry, that was for this past week, but the days on market for all the solds in the past 30 days was 26. So active homes at 96. Last 30 days, the sales were 26. Those are our two markets. The houses that are selling because they were prepared and ready to go and priced correctly, or the ones that weren't.
Yeah.
And that means
Pricing matters.
All of you that are sitting for 3 months, you need to go back to the drawing board and look and see what your feedback has been, and also what did you not do that you should have done in regards to prepping the house, and also price. Just a revamp of what did we not do in the beginning that could help us now.
That extra $5,000 to $10,000 that a seller may want to push for could cost them 45 days, an extra mortgage payment, and most likely a price reduction in that timeline that will probably end up netting you less than if you just priced it correctly at the beginning. I
say that's a guarantee, because these houses that are averaging in Carmel, they're all the same. I can go through all of it, but sitting on 96 days on market for anybody who said, let's just see if we can get an extra 10, are going to not get full list, and they're probably going to not get 98% because buyers, they're savvy. They're going to know. I'm not going to give them full list. They've been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, let's come in low. I mean, I myself did that back in like October, November, like right as it was like really pivoted, and like we just missed the mark, and like it cost us 3.5 months. I mean, just because of like $10,000, and we kind of saw the trends, but I didn't see it. I didn't see a cliff there. Like that's impossible to predict. You know, I try to be honest and transparent here. Like I make mistakes. You know, they're still doing. The sellers are still doing great on the property, but like compared to like what we thought we were going to be able to do, you know, it's less than that. Still come out ahead or whatever, but.
Well, that's using the comps as normal 6 months. Well, when I started, you could go back a year, because it was all stable. It was always the same. Now, you know,
6
it
months.
pivoted to 6 months, years ago. But now I think we really shouldn't go past 3 months, because there's a different market every 3 months.
There is.
And if you even look at your averages to what that price should be if you're looking just at 3 months, and then go ahead and do 6 months, if there's a discrepancy, use the 3 months, because that 6 months is wrong if it's that much different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that's why I hope agents listen to this. You know, you got to think with the amount of volume I do or the amount of volume you do, and like I can still make a mistake, and I'm in this thing every single week doing stats. You know, like if you're like, let's say you list a house like once every 3 or 4 months, like, you know, like I understand why we get in some of these situations. I don't think none of it's intentional. Some of it's just education. And even then, like, you can just, you can have a comp that falls off that was helping your price, and now all of a sudden, I've had that happen.
What I laugh about is when I'm sitting with a seller and I'm doing comps, and I say, here's the 5 houses that have sold in your neighborhood, and one's kind of weird. I'm like, what happened here? Oh, they're going through divorce. Oh, somebody passed away. Whatever. There's always that one that the neighbors know what happened, and you need to throw that one out.
Yep.
And so if you don't ask your sellers, literally, like, what's the scuttlebutt on all these houses, because if I see one that, let's just say 300 and 310 and 305 and 319 and then 280, I want to throw that one out anyway, but I want to know why. What happened here? Or also look and see if that was like a month ago and the other one at 300 was a month ago and the 319 was October. That's where I say you need to be in the 3-month situation, because that would show a downward trend very much. So there's so many ways, not just blanket at 6 months.
No, you have to look at each individual house. When we priced this one in Broad Ripple, we had 2 comps that were like very, very low. And I was looking at one of them. Each one of them had its own reason. One of them was priced $80,000 too high originally. And so they just got murdered for 4 months, right?
You always need to look at what the list price was versus how it sold, because that will be
that indicates
another,
your value.
Indication.
The other one was really interesting because it was on the market one day. It was only a front and back photo, no interior photos, but there's 2 different agents. So a lot of times when it's just front and back, you're like, okay, maybe it was limited or whatever.
And list and sold, as they say.
Right, and so then, and it was low, but then I looked at the remarks, and the agent was just very nice, and he put, active to pinned, which to me, this was a deal done off market through 2 different agents, through their clients. They had agreed upon price. It never hit the open market and whatever it may be. And so, like, to me, that's a different kind of comp than an average comp, where fair market value comes into play.
And sold, they said active to pinned.
Active to pinned was the only remarks in there.
Yeah, both, what I don't like about that, like you said, that is going to be.
I wish there was interior pics. I wish agents did that.
Well, the appraisal needs to be.
Yeah.
So that I when I was talking on the BLC committee for my board, the appraiser on there kept saying that, like, every month he would say, put the interior pictures on, because if you're going to do a list and sold and put up the front and back and put that information in there,
I need to know what it looks like.
It because like we look when we're going to do pricing, is it updated? Is it not?
What do the countertops look like?
Because if it's 280 and we're like, oh, the averages are like 325, what's wrong with this? And we don't have interior pictures, still going to throw it out. But it could be a very usable one, but just throw pictures in. But I don't know. I don't know if it's laziness or not. But I did a list and pinned and recently. And I put all the interior photos up for that reason. I just think it's common courtesy to the market.
So we do it all the time. And as I say that, I'm being a hypocrite, because I literally have 2 right now where we're not doing that. But one of them is my team member is purchasing the house, right? And, is going to live in it forever. And then the other one is my parents' house that somebody approached us after, my father's funeral and before my mom's, and we'd already agreed and negotiated on everything. And I don't.
You just don't want those pictures out there.
Probably. Yeah, I just don't. My father passed away in there, like all these other things. There's some disrepair. I don't want to say disrepair, but like.
Yeah, you don't want that out there. So that's
deferred maintenance, I guess is the better word for it.
And that could be a seller's choice, period, not just you as the family member. But some sellers will say, I want to sell it, but I don't want pictures of the interior of my house out there, and we didn't go on market anyway, so leave them off.
Yep. And so I don't know if you've ever gotten this question. Sometimes I get people who say, like, hey, will you take my pictures off of Zillow?
Yes.
I can't do that. The homeowner has to do that.
Yes.
I can take them off of the BLC, right? I can do all of that.
But it stays out there.
I can do that, but Zillow, it has to be the homeowner who calls to remove the photos, and they will do it. But I can't do it as an agent.
It didn't used to be that easy. Zillow was not going to just mess with any of it, but that is something that I think it's funny that they think we have control of all these websites.
I wish I did.
We have nothing. Yeah. They take our.
I would change those estimates.
Yeah. Well, they take our information and they put it on their sites, and it's gone from us. Yeah. Whatever they put out there.
But they are a brokerage, so I'm not being disparaging, because I always do tell people that I do think they have the most user-friendly platform. I really do.
Every time you talk to a buyer, what are they? I looked on Zillow.
Yep.
I looked on
I mean,
Zillow.
you got Redfin, you got Homes.com. I think Homes.com is very, very good, but the one that is
Homes.com
most searchable
is getting crazy because I'm starting to get leads from Homes.com, and I'm having people say I saw on Homes.com. So that marketing that they started
They're on the Super Bowl.
Working. They were on the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
but they started way back because what was the thing? We got a whole package from Homes.com, and they had the football stuff in there. So it was, I don't remember what it was.
We got a jersey, like a bunch of food for like a charcuterie board.
And the charcuterie.
Did you get energy drinks?
No.
I think we did, honestly.
Sign me
But
up.
they had this football field that was a charcuterie board and stuff like that. And
It was
I'm like,
like
why
really
am I getting
good
that?
stuff.
But they were all about, then all of a sudden I'm just getting peppered.
Oh, we got it. Oh, remember it had like a video screen? Like, have you seen like PR packages that had like video screens? It was literally a commercial video screen in like the PR package.
But that was
pretty
the
cool.
beginning of their marketing, and
the
I've
push.
just seen it. And now I'm seeing buyer. It's working.
Yeah.
So and they're like, did you ever hear of Homes.com? I have, but it was always that little one back to the side.
Zillow, I encourage everybody, my clients, I'm like, go ahead, look at it. Just if you see anything, send it to me so I can verify stuff, like not that deep, because it's a broad grab, as estimates especially. But, yeah, and then like they also look at like, they'll say foreclosures and all this other stuff. So like it just needs verified. It's not a big deal. But people search Zillow like it's social media these days, mainly because social media has gotten so toxic. But
sometimes they have so much fun because my girlfriend is having too much fun with it because she keeps posting on Facebook, I guess I'm moving to Detroit. I guess I'm moving to Miami. And she's posting these cool houses.
Yeah.
Because she's just looking online.
I mean,
for
I use
fun.
it when I go on vacation. I mean, that's what I use. I'll be
to
like,
see
hey, I
it.
wonder what this house is, like I'll be in Miami or Hawaii or whatever it
wherever
is.
you're at. So I wonder how much it costs to live here.
I mean, I use it because it's super user friendly.
It's
So
so
like,
easy.
I don't like to disparage them. I know there used to be a whole bunch about all that, but
Well, the
I
thing
think they
with
do
them-
really. I think they're the best search platform. I really do.
Well, the thing about them is I know that buyers will come to you and say, I saw it on Zillow. And the one thing about them is they don't do really good about saying off market. It's a little gray, little, and they're like, I just saw it
I just saw
today.
this house. Yeah, it's not for
like,
sale.
No, it says off market
Yeah.
on there. Where does it say that? They're like, no, it's not for sale.
I wish we need to get back to this is a whole nother. Maybe we can have Shelly on and discuss this.
Shelly Specchio from
Yeah,
Melbourne.
we need the MyBore mobile app again. Because that was really, really good. Because the one I have is just a small version of what I use on my laptop, which is a little bit complicated to steer on a mobile platform. That's just a personal opinion.
Right. You know what I want? Let's see what anybody else wants. Let's just talk about what we need on my board. I want Broker Bay to be available to me when I'm doing drafts.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Because when it goes active at 1 in the morning, at 12:01, I'm not going to stay up till 12:02 and get
Who
that
in the heck
there.
is listing a house at 12:01?
No, that's when it goes active. So, like, if you did pre-market or something like that, or you want it to go activated, it activates at 12:01 a.m. And then, so like at 8 o'clock, my phone's blowing up trying to get appointments because I couldn't put it in Broker Bay ahead of time. I have to put it in Broker Bay once it's active. I think that's a disservice to our buyers too, because they can't get in the house when they want to because they're waiting for me to say how to get in, but I couldn't do that. So really would love
because of
Broker
clear
Bay.
cooperation. Yeah.
All of the things, but the agents can't even get an appointment because I didn't. Again, I should just stay up to 12:02 and get it done. But I know.
You can ask our office staff. I send stuff to be sent active at like 12:30 a.m. I work. I'm a maniac with my hours. But so even with that, I mean, the market was tough last year, and I know there were some agents out there who were struggling and stuff like that. But I just want to make sure people know, just like what the rules are and what ethics are and all this other stuff in our industry. The house I listed on Valentine's, I listed it the day before Valentine's Day. I had a young couple with a small child and is pregnant, and it was Valentine's Day, right? Or the next day was Valentine's Day. So I was like, no showings till Saturday, no big deal. I was like, let this couple have a Valentine's Day. Most likely, at that age, your Valentine's Day is, at home or whatever. You got a little one. And for 2 days straight, I had agents knocking on their door, calling me, trying to get in early. Like, and it's always they're from out of town and blah, blah, blah.
And tomorrow. I got that.
And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, as soon as I open it to you, Clear Cooperation says I have to open it to everybody. Like, this isn't me against you. This is me trying to support everybody. And that's just
And
the
that's
rules.
what the sellers have asked. They've asked for a reason, but we can put it up pre-market and it can be available. So I have two things to say what you just said because it's both very frustrating. So my listing went up Wednesday, but showing started Thursday. And I had 3 agents call me and say, I have a buyer in town just today. Can we see it?
Yeah.
And I know that ploy, but I want to believe. So I called my
What day
sellers.
did it go on the market?
Went on Wednesday. They wanted to see it Wednesday.
Who comes in from out of town just for middle of the week?
That's exactly what I said.
What is that? Doesn't
Guess
even
what?
make sense.
All 3 of the agents made their appointments on Thursday. Friday. If I had, but my seller just couldn't do it for the reasons of why we didn't have opening or showings for Thursday, and all 3 of them made an appointment on Friday. And I'm just like, y'all need to come up with a different reason because that one is. And here's another thing I want to say. What happened? Talking about agents who might just, and I'm not talking bad about agents, but these are things that we've got to watch.
We just got to get better at.
Gotta watch out. So I get one of my leads comes from an online source, and then when you get those online leads, it goes to like 8 or 10, like a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And I just don't respond very quickly because I know they're going to get peppered. So this one guy 2 days ago called me and he said, you know what? I got all these people their information came to me. I heard from every one of them but you. And he goes, so I want to talk to you. And I thought it was funny because here's what he said. He goes, I am so angry at the greed and the desperation of all the agents I talked to have to call me that fast. But the one thing that really pissed him off, an agent went to the front door, knocked on the door.
Yeah.
They opened the door and they said, hi, I'm John. I want to talk to you about listing your house. And had this like little gift basket. And his wife was so mad, she threw it back at him. And he said he was going to turn him into the police. He decided not to for trespassing. I'm like, you don't just show up at people's house. You just don't.
Oh my gosh, we dealt with that.
He
last
was
week.
so mad.
We have one under contract, and an insurance agent came out to look at the house without giving anybody a heads up. And this is a rural house, man. That guy could have got shot out there. It was so bad. It gave 5 acres. And like my clients just like look, and there's like some guy walking on their property. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Well, that does happen with appraisers too sometimes. But
I always get a heads up. This was just a rarity, But
or if roofers want to go look at the roof, is anybody there? Yes, and they still go and get on the roof, and people are like, what is going on my roof? Yeah, you
just got to
have to request permission to walk onto somebody's property.
We let's see. So the Valentine's Day one was just kind of a messed up situation. So, I mean, we got hammered with showings. I had people writing offers right away. And so I did all this to take care of my clients, right? And, like, I want them to, enjoy, like, this holiday for them or whatever. And, like, 9 o'clock Friday night on Valentine's Day, I was like, oh, crap. I didn't think about the fact my mom's funeral's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
On the first day it went.
Oh.
And so, people are always like, what do we deal with as agents? Like, I dealt with 20 phone calls from agents at my mom's funeral.
Yes.
That was my life. Now, that was an oversight on my part. But I still dealt with it. I was like, hey, I'm at my mom's funeral. Like, I would look on occasion, because I'm in the receiving line, and, there'd be a lull, and I'd be like, hey, I'm at a funeral. If you send anything, just make sure it's a response time at like 5 o'clock tomorrow, because I'm at a freaking my mom's funeral. So,
they don't care.
Actually, everybody was very. You say your mom's funeral.
Yeah,
I guess kind of a trump card.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I didn't get too much pushback on that one. So,
but you talk about our life. You're doing that at the funeral. Obviously, you said I got married on my wedding day. I was not going to work. I said it over. Jeff was taking over everything for me, and all was good. And I told Jeff, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Please don't even ask me questions. I was writing an offer.
Of course.
For 2 hours before my wedding, to leave. And
yeah, your husband knows what he's getting into, though.
Yeah, he
read the warning label.
I know, but it didn't matter.
It didn't.
Not to them. I'm not saying to them, but the offer. They had to write the offer. So Jeff showed it, and then they're like, "Yeah, we want to write an offer." And I'm like, "Okay." I made it to the church on time. Well, the beach, but whatever.
And you're like, it's not a big deal. It'll take 20 minutes. It's just super easy. I write these all the time. I promise it won't take long.
And you know what? They came back and they go, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. The tragedy of your life It's kind of funny. Yeah, but I get tons of other.
I wish I started my book like I said I would start my book, or at least start making notes from the day I started of the crazy things that we deal with, the sad things we deal with, just the whole book of what we deal with, because it isn't just the 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And it's never the same every day.
It's not. It's fun.
Oh,
it's the best job ever. I absolutely love this job.
Well, it's fun because the people you meet, and I love it.
Well, I feel bad. Like, so during that, I think most people know, like, if you send a text or if you send an email, it takes on the tone of the reader, not the sender, right? And so, like, I was dealing with, like, I had a bunch of stuff happen last week with business, and my son had to go to the ER, my wife had to go to the ER, and I just buried my mom. Like, it was a lot. And, like, I got a response in an email from another client, or from another agent, which was actually a pretty normal response. But the way I read it, because, like, I was just so emotionally depleted, I was like, who's this guy? I was like, this is an unnecessary tone, And then I woke up, I was like, man, I'm gonna call this guy tomorrow. And then I woke up the next day, and I was like, yeah, I think it was just me. And the way I read it, I was like, maybe he should call. Like, but I always call other agents, and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm about to send. This is what I'm saying, and because I mean, I'm a human. So
the one thing I don't understand why Apple, and if anybody knows how to do this, please. So I'm an Apple iPhone. The text messages that are sent to me, I cannot have an automatic responder if that I'm not in the office, I'm not available, or whatever. So only my email will say that. So you get all these texts, and you can't get to them, and then all of a sudden you come back to your text, and they're like, hello, and I'm like, I've been, like, gone or not available. And there's no way to have an automatic, I will be available today after 4 o'clock. I'll get back to you then.
Not via text.
And I wish that existed, because it's desperately needed, because we are usually under the gun for responses really quickly on a lot of things. And, like, right now, we're not available. And I have offers due at 5. So we're going to have people right now, I know, trying to get a hold of me, and I hate that I can't say anything.
Every time when we're done with the podcast, I have missed calls and texts,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I gotta go spend 10 minutes following up with everybody who got a hold of us.
I like to pride myself in getting back to people quickly.
Same.
And or saying, I'll get right back to you. Can I have an hour? And that's just, my text is not possible.
Agents do that with their clients. I wish they'd do it with other agents.
Oh, well.
I know. Hey. We'll do the airing of grievances next year at Festivus. So, all right, let's get into the stats. So for me, Fishers. So let me look back, because it has been a couple weeks. I have a massive uptick on market. Like, I just do. My actual inventory, it's trickling up, but I mean, it's gone up it's gone up by like 10, something like that.
Can I really quickly say
house that we made? No, you're not allowed. Yeah, go ahead.
We made an offer on was listed in the mid 3s in Fishers. They had 32 showings the first day. This is what I'm saying. The market has started.
Yeah,
big
it has.
Time, and they got multiple offers, of course. But I just wanted to say that's where.
But that's because it's priced right. It looks right. Like, all of that stuff.
It was priced right. Absolutely. So, yeah, lots of showings out there.
So, for Fishers, I had 48 go on the market. And for reference, let's see, we didn't do it for 2 weeks. So 3 weeks ago, I had 28 go on the market in Fishers. So, almost double. 20 of them are still active, 28 pended within a week. So, 38 total pended last week. Now, I know we're doing it late this week. We're doing it on a Friday. But I still did Tuesday to Tuesday to keep all my stats consistent. I have 117 on the market, which, 3 weeks ago I had 125. So, like, that speaks to, but before that I was down, so it's kind of like fluctuating, but more's going on the market and a lot of selling. I'm down to 47 days on market average, but the median is 14, which kind of reflects those new houses. In Noblesville, I had 43 go on the market. So 3 weeks ago I had 32. 12 of those pended, 13 are still, I did that number wrong. What is that? 30, oh my gosh, that number's, no, that's right. Okay. 13 are still active, 12 pended, but 28 total pended last week, right? So in Noblesville in particular, a lot of it was ate up by some of the stagnant inventory. Average days on market right now is 29, and the median is 4. In Noblesville.
And I remember your stats 3 weeks ago were really different.
Are you kidding me? Like, in Noblesville 4 weeks ago, I was at 50 average days on market and 40 median. You know, I mean, like it's coming down. Noblesville, 5 weeks ago, average days on market was 65.
I remember you were really high. So was
Yeah.
I. So was I.
Yeah.
And it's come way down because if I'm looking at my actives, that's where we were for 3 weeks ago. That's still correlating with all the actives, but those actives are being eaten up, and that's what we said in the very beginning of this, is that if your house is sitting right now, the market's hot, so you should be selling. Most of all, I just have to say is at least your showing should be up.
Yes.
So all these new buyers, I mean, they're not going to be up if all the buyers that are currently in the market have already seen your house. But there's a lot of new buyers, so you should be seeing some showings tick up. So in Carmel, 30 were listed, 12 of those pended, and a total of 21. So very heavy, like with Carmel. Average days on market in the past 7 days was 36, median 7. And then sold in the past 30 days, there were 73. And the days on market were averaging 26 and the median 5. So Carmel is staying for 30 days around 5 or 6 as a median, which is back to those fast numbers. But currently there's 111 active. And then average days for the active homes is 96 and the median is 37. So I keep saying there's two markets. The ones that aren't selling, that weren't put together correctly, weren't priced correctly, whatever it is, they're still sitting. And the ones that are hitting the market that are good, they're going away within 5 to 7 days.
Which is going to hurt that stagnant group more and more, right? Because people are seeing stuff that will be similar in price that is in better shape. And like it's hard to not like the better house. So the other one's going to sit or get beat up on price even more.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get beat up on price if they've been sitting for almost 100 days. That's just
reality.
Obvious. Yeah. Westfield, 43 hit the market. 6 of them pended of that, but 25 total. Average days on market for the past 7 days in Westfield was 51, down to 27 for the median. 93 houses sold in the past 30 days with the average of 39 and the median 11. So speeding up, but 188 are currently active with the average of 77 and the median 41. So very stagnant with those 188. A lot of new builds. I say that every time. Zionsville, 9 hit the market, 6 pended, a total of 8 pended. Average days on market, 7, median 4 last week. 23 sold in the past 30 days. Average days, this is very interesting, 42 average, 16 median for 30 days. At 7 days, it went down to 4 from 16. It went down from 42 to 7 average. Zionsville sped way up last week. There's 48 currently active, and the average days on market 113 with a median of 72. So all the actives setting in my numbers that I do, Carmel, Westfield, and Zionsville, have high days on market. And like you said, it's going to be very difficult to go against these houses that are coming on the market right now. There's two markets, so there's a lot of sitting inventory, and that has been sitting. So
wait till the front house or the front picture of your house that is covered in snow starts to be competing with
the flowers.
The flowers.
That's one thing you need to do.
You got to change that.
You need to redo your pictures.
Not yet, but in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Or at least go out and get the pansies. The mulch and pansies, because you can get them at, I'm sure Lowe's has them out here. Put your flowers in your front pots and mulch the house and make it look pretty, because people, that helps their mentality when they see your house. It's all pretty and there's flowers.
Shows warmth.
It does, and you already have a good attitude when you walk up to the house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, it's, in the next couple of weeks we have more people coming on, right? So that'll be nice.
Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy? I think you mean Ryan Foxworthy.
Ryan.
We could have Jeff on. I don't think he would answer.
Yeah. Ryan Foxworthy, we're excited to have him on. And then the week after that, we have Jeff Cloyd talking about downtown Fishers and what's going on there. So.
Yep. And we got some other people coming on. So it'll be good, especially now that, you've gotten through your stuff. I've gotten through my stuff. Hopefully no more people die on me, and I hope you don't get remarried. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor.
That would mean I'd have to get divorced first.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be consistent here for the next couple months again.
I think he likes me right now.
As he wrote an offer on his wedding day. I love that. Anyways, but we'll be back, and if anybody has anything that they want to hear about specifically, we can do that, or any kind of area that somebody wants to have on in particular, we can do that as well. We have tons of resources. Sometimes it's like, well, will people find that interesting or not? So we just have kind of been like getting people on and you guys can figure out if it's interesting or not, because
Right,
it's all
but
interesting
also,
to me.
We keep saying too, if you want to be on, please come on. If you have something you want to air grievances about, we love doing that.
Except
or just have fun with
no.
talking about things.
Except for my wife. I don't need her getting on here airing grievances about me. I just for sure don't need that.
I think that might be interesting.
Yeah, let's do that.
We could
Let's do that.
We could
No.
bring them both on and see what it's like to be with a agent. What they feel the other side is like living with an agent.
My wife
For
would do
anybody
that,
out there that might
unfortunately.
be having a
That
thought of,
actually would be a really good podcast.
they might be wanting
Oh
to.
my gosh.
There might be somebody out there that's like, should I marry them?
Should I marry a real estate agent?
No, that would
That
be,
could be a whole
my
show.
that would be
gosh,
a really
dude.
good show.
Oh man, I'll ask Jess, see if she wants to do it. You can ask him, see if he wants to do it. That'd be.
I bet they would.
Oh man.
Should we bring a mediator to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe page for our therapy afterwards. But oh my gosh, I kind of like this idea. Ironically, man, we could have Josh and have him
Oh my
bring his
God.
wife, since like he runs a brokerage and stuff in
Open
2
up
states.
mics.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Could you
lovely.
imagine his Facebook post? I swear, watch Josh Dimagani
Yeah.
on Facebook. He is hilarious, and if you're an agent, you would just really enjoy the banter back and forth.
Yeah, at a
of what
minimum,
he brings up.
he sparks conversations.
Absolutely,
So he's really
and
good.
We
I-
have one question for you. Do you have voices in your head?
Me? Wait, which voice are you
Do
talking
you have like
to
an
right
inner
now?
monologue?
Oh, I do know about this. Yes, I do.
Thank you.
And I don't, and nobody understands why in my family because they all say they have it.
I try to silence it.
Yeah,
Like I do a
exactly.
lot of work on myself to silence it, but 100%. Like I narrate what I'm doing while I'm doing it, for goodness
Exactly.
sakes. Yeah.
Well, that was Josh's Facebook post a couple of days ago, and
Yeah.
that was interesting. So anyway, just a Facebook page of what
we should have
recommend.
Angel's husband on, Jimmy, as well, since like she's a managing
You
broker.
can just do a series of it.
Yeah.
What's it like? working
Change
with-
the subject of the show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's all new.
Agents
Anyway,
Anonymous.
I'm Shelly Walters with the Shelly Walters Realty Group and FC Tucker. My phone number is 317-201-2601.
And I'm Kyle Morris with Morris Property Group and FC Tucker. My number is 317-649-5122. And it's going to be 60 degrees today, and that's all I care about.
It's been beautiful past couple of days. See you
All
guys
right.
next week with Ryan Foxworthy.